Okay, today I'm going to give you some introduction about traffic control devices. We will not be able to go into the details. Somehow I have not managed enough time to do that. But they are, as you can see, this topic is part of two outcomes of the course, so leaving it completely will not be fair. So let us begin. So what are traffic control devices? Anything by which we communicate with the drivers. Okay, anything by which we communicate with the drivers, including what? Such as signals, okay, and signs. What else? Instagram, WhatsApp. Yes. Okay. Yes. So anything which is on the road, which regulates the flow of travel, which guides him how to drive or where to go, and so on. Anything about which comes under this category is part of traffic control devices. Okay. It may guide him about the speed. It may guide him about the lane. It may guide him about direction, and so on and so forth. Okay. So all these things come under traffic control devices. So this is like the road media, like we have social media, like we have in the same way we have road media as well. So they come under these categories. Okay, you are reading them, right? So we have traffic markings. Okay, so traffic markings tell you about the direction and the lane and so on and so forth. Okay, then we have the signals, and then we have the signs. For road design, for any type of design, we follow some standards, right? Okay, you have design for steel, you have standards for steel design, standards for concrete design. In the same way, we have standard for traffic control devices design, and that standard is known as Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices. Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices. Okay, which standard do we follow for design of highways? ASTO, right? We follow ASTO. And which standard did I tell you about in this course, which is related to level of service? Yes. A standard which we use to calculate the level of service. Which standard is that?
Consists of 3 letters.
Consists of 3 letters. Very good. A, L, and I. Right?
Nothing.
Highway capacity manual. Okay. So this this one is dedicated to control devices itself. Okay. This is a dedicated manual and exclusive manual for traffic control devices. You can find the 2023 edition. Okay. It's like the standards from a ministry. Okay. From in US they have this FHWA. Okay. So whatever standards they generate, they upload it, because for the use of everybody. Okay, so it's easily available. Okay, yeah, it's written here. The manual takes care of 4 main elements. It takes care of 4 main elements of the traffic control devices: their use, their placement, their design. 3. Okay, I'll read it from here. Application, design, and placement, and then they related to placement. We have two things, 2 aspects. Okay, I'll come back to it. So there are 3 things already mentioned here: where to use the manual, where to place it, and how to design it. Okay, and then one of them is divided into 2 categories. So the manual takes care of these things. Yeah. Why do we have an exclusive manual for traffic control devices? This is for the purpose of uniformity. Okay, now you have seen traffic signals, right? Traffic signals have 3 lights. Meaning what? Which lights? Green, yellow, and red. Okay. So if you go to Saudi, do you see different lights? No? If you go to, never go to Pakistan, but let's say somehow you go to Pakistan. Okay, don't try to find it. You see the same 3 lights. Okay. So the purpose is, so if you are driving in your whole life in Bahrain, and somehow you go and you start driving in US, or you go and you find a job in UAE or something. Okay, so the traffic control devices will not confuse you. Okay, now I'm giving extreme cases where you may or you may not go and drive there. Okay, but in case of US, it was very important because they have, I don't know, 50 or so states, and then they have the freedom that every state can choose their own laws and regulations and so on. Okay, so if they applied it to everything, then they would have problems with the drivers driving in. Okay, the same is a problem in EU countries as well, European Union countries. Okay, since last few years they were saying that they will come up with a new code for the Gulf countries, a new unified code for the Gulf countries. Still, it's unified. If you look at their standards, it's not much. There's not much change. Okay, but the point being, these standards, especially for highway design, okay, we do not follow exactly AASHTO standards. We adopt them, so we are using their equations and so on, but the values are not the same. If you go and look at how they are designing the highways in US, okay, and how we are, which values we are using, they are slightly different. Okay, so the values are slightly different. We are taking their procedures. Okay, but in traffic control devices, we are more uniform. Okay, in case of traffic control devices, we are more uniform. Okay, so we may be exactly following each and every value up to a millimeter. Okay, got my point? The reason is the drivers, when they are driving from one region to another region, they should not get confused. They should not, when they look at something, they know exactly what does it mean. Okay, yeah, with the exception of few additional items which you may find in your region. Okay, so we have fog, for example. In Saudi, you will see the sign for camel crossing and so on. Okay, so they don't have these things here. In Australia, you will find the sign for what crossing? Kangaroo crossing, right? So these are some additional items. Well, most of the cases the same. Okay, so the manual tells you the physical design of the device. Okay, how it will look, the height, the width. If it's a circular device, what should be the radius? Okay, the colors which you should use in those devices. So they are given. Okay, if it's a speed limit device, then what should be written on it? If it's a no parking sign, then what should be written on it? If it is for lane marking, what type of marking you can give? Okay, so you cannot just decide, okay, for lane marking, I will put circles. Or I start putting triangles. No. Okay, so the physical design is given. Then the standards also tell you where they should be placed. Where they should be placed with respect to the road. Where they should be placed with respect to the road. So, for example, you may have seen some signs. Some of them are on the side of the road. Okay, and some of them are on top of the road. Okay, so if I have a speed limit, where do you normally see it? Side or top? Side. Okay, and the direction signs on the top. Normally they are on the top. Okay, so these standards come from the manual as well. And then we have something which we call as warrants. Conditions where a sign is where a control device is applicable, where it can be used or where it should be used. Okay, so you cannot decide on your own that this intersection needs a roundabout and this one will need a signal. There are conditions which you have to meet for that. Got it? Those conditions are known as warrants. Some of the warrants are mandatory. If you reach this condition, this device must be used. Some of the conditions are recommended. If you reach this condition, you should use this device. Got my point? Okay. It will improve, but if you don't use it, the flow will still continue. It will not be dangerous. But there are some conditions, if you don't follow them, then there will be either a complete traffic breakdown or there will be a lot of accidents. Okay, so those warrants or those conditions are mandatory, and then there are others which are recommended. Got it? So these three things are mainly covered in the manual. For any traffic control device to be effective, okay, what is the purpose of traffic control device? What did I say? Communication, right? Okay, so there are conditions for effective communication. For effective communication, there are some conditions which you have to meet. Okay, so for example, if I come in the class, start speaking in Urdu, you guys will enjoy it, right? Let him say, we can see, right? Okay. So in the same way, the traffic control devices also have some conditions. If you don't fulfill them, your communication with the driver is not effective. He may not get the message, or he may not even have a look at it. What are these things? These are 5 items. So first of all, use the device on need basis. Don't just use it, okay, because there's a highway, there should be a speed limit sign there. No, you have to see where it is required. Okay, where it is required. For the speed limit sign it is usually placed at the most annoying location, right? Like where you want to go at 200 and you are actually at 180 already. And then you see the speed limit sign, it says only 80. So why this happens? This is on purpose, because those are the locations where drivers can go and do over speeding. Okay, so near the intersections, there's a very low chance. Before the intersection, there's a very low chance the driver will be going at 80 or 90 or 100 kilometers per hour. But on a straight road, which is without any intersection, no ramps, 5, 3, 4 lanes, this is the location where a speed limit sign is more effective, right? Okay. For markings, okay, the stop line is a marking for stop line, right? And you know where it should be. Where? In your garage. Where should be the marking for stop line? Yes? At the intersection. Okay. So you cannot, as written in the slides, you can read it later on. So you cannot use a stop line anywhere else just to make the driver slow, because it's not required there. Okay, let me put a line, a white line across the road, the driver will see it and he'll stop. No. You, for stopping, for slowing down, there are some other control devices which you can use. Okay, but you will not use that one. Clear? Okay, I already mentioned about the warrants. Okay, so before you start putting the control devices, you have to see the warrant, the conditions. Is this location fulfilling the condition for this device? If it doesn't, we don't use it. Clear? Okay. Second point is the device should command attention. Okay. Now how to get the attention of people? There are some influencers here, right? You should know that. And some YouTube channel holders. You should not know that how to get the attention. Yes. How do we get the attention of the people? Yes.
Add circles. Add circles.
Circles?
Yes, in red color.
In red color? Colors. Same as what he is saying. Okay. Any other idea?
The size should be large.
The size should be large. You are talking about your channel or the traffic control?
Everything.
Everything? Okay, I'll keep that. Somebody note it, please. I'm recording it. Okay. So, you know, the colors are important, right? The size is important. Okay. The visibility is important. Okay. And the placement is important. Okay. So, if it is too far away from the road, most probably it will not get the attention. If it is small enough, it will not get the attention. Okay. If it is, now you will see a lot of devices facing this. Okay. You want to make Bahrain green, right? That's why we have green caps. You want to make it green, so you see trees there, and people don't cut the branches of the trees. Some of them are just right in front of the signs, okay, and so on and so forth. So it's not visible. How the driver is supposed to pay attention? Not visible. If I cannot see it, I will not pay attention. Simple as that. So you have to take care of all these items in the design and the maintenance of the traffic control devices. They should convey a clear and simple message. Focus on the action of the driver. Focus on the action of the driver. So there are some signs which say slow down. Okay? It doesn't say why. It doesn't say on the road or in life. Right? Just slow down. Take it easy. Okay? So if you start writing all these things, okay, then again you will miss the point, the first point, which is to command attention. Okay? Few semesters ago, there was a student who came to me, doctor, the slides were too many. So I did not even read them. There are too many. I know I will not finish it. So why should I read them? Why should I even start? Right? Same principle goes here. Okay? There's too much written on it, and I'm on the move. I know I cannot read it all. So why should I even pay attention? Okay? So keep the message clear and simple and related to the action of the driver. Okay? You worry about why it is being there, what the driver is supposed to do, and why he's supposed to do. You take care of these things. The driver is not supposed to take care of these things. Okay? So you have a stop line. Okay? So you don't tell the driver, okay, at this distance you start to slow down. When you reach this point, your speed should be this. No, nothing like this. At this line you stop. That's it. Clear? Okay? So that's why in most of the cases we don't even need any numbers or letters or any symbols. Okay? Because the message can be conveyed even with one arrow. Got it? So keep the message clear and simple so the driver pays attention and he can get the message. He has enough time to read it. Okay? Then we have command respect of the road users. That comes from the first three items. Commanding respect means the driver is motivated. He feels the need to follow it. The driver feels the need to follow it. The first one is the need from the traffic management part. You see, as a traffic engineer, as a highway engineer, as a traffic or highway manager, that on this location we need to put the device. Okay, but the driver should also feel that I should follow the device. Okay, so again going back to the example of stop sign because it's very clear. Okay, I am coming towards an intersection. I have to stop. I know that. So if I see the stop line there are more chances that I will follow it. Okay, but if I put a stop line somewhere else where I don't see the intersection, where I don't see the why should I stop, it will have less chances that I actually follow it. Okay, when you are going out of the campus, okay, from so you go out from the student gate, right? So then you take the right from the next signal. Okay, and then you are on this highway, and then you go forward, and then you see a ramp going up. Okay, to the main highway. The road is going towards Rifa, and then there is the ramp going up. On that ramp, what's the speed there? 50. Okay. I don't think any one of you go at 50.
The trucks go at 50.
Huh? The trucks, the Ali drives a truck, so he goes at 50. Okay, so the thing is, you don't see the need there. Okay, you are already coming at, where is my phone? So you don't see the need to follow it. Okay, and on the same ramp you will see that they have put a solid line between the two lanes, which means what? You cannot go the other, like you can, but you shouldn't, right? You can and you do, but you shouldn't, right? You mustn't. Oh, very good. You should go to traffic police and learn about these things. You must not go to the other lane. Okay, but the problem is the road is so wide, you are going at high speed, the traffic is usually very low, you don't see the need to follow it. Okay, so this is talking about commanding respect. The users, the road users, the drivers should feel the need to follow it. Okay, and the last one you already covered it in the highway course, which is to give enough time for the drivers to follow the device. Okay, a stop sign, you know, a stopping sight distance, right? So that much sight distance must be available when I look at the sign. Same thing with the signal. Same thing with the speed limit sign. Same thing with the slow down sign. Okay, so you know the driver will see the sign and then he needs some time to get to that action. So he must have enough time after looking at the device till he is required to do that action. He must have that much time. Okay, so you see different lanes, right turning, left turning. So if I only see which lane is for each movement when I actually am on the stop line, it's useless. So I should know about the lanes maybe 100 meters before, so I can change my lanes and whatever. Clear? Okay, so these are the 5 things you need to take care of. Okay, one basic principle about communication is not part of the design principles, but it's part of effective communication, which is called as redundancy. Okay, redundancy means takrar, right? Okay, repetition. Okay, I do it a lot in the class, right? Other teachers may also be doing it. You guys do it a lot as well, right? I need A. 100 times in the morning, 100 times in the evening, right? Okay. So how do we do the takrar with the traffic control devices? Okay, it can be done in 2 ways. Repetition of message can be done in 2 ways. One is within a single device. The design of the device is such that different items are pointing to the same message. For example, the stop sign. Okay, usually the red color is associated with danger, right? And you have the red signal as well. So red usually means stop, but that doesn't mean you will put an empty red board there. So you will have the red board with written stop. Okay, so the red color and the word is communicating the same message. Okay, in some cases, in some countries they have the message in dual languages, multiple languages. Okay, so again communicating the message in multiple ways. This is one way of redundancy, repeating the message by different elements of the design. Okay, another way of redundancy is putting different control devices for the same message. So you see a signal, a separate signal for left turning, which is at the median. Okay, and then you see a traffic island which is separating these 3 lanes and this 1 lane. Now this is telling you what? If I want to take a left turn, I should be on this side of the aisle, right? So the signal, separate signal. Lane, separate. Both of them are communicating, your lane is separate. Okay, and then you will see the arrow as well. Sometimes you will see directional signs as well. So there are 3-4 traffic control devices which are communicating the same message. Okay, that you have a separate lane. Clear? So this is part of redundancy, either within the device or with multiple devices. Okay, some examples of redundancy. So we have stop sign, for example. We make it red color, the shape, the word stop, I already mentioned it. A give way sign, okay, so give way sign has red and white both. Okay, it's an inverted triangle, so usually those are associated with slowing down the speed. The triangle is usually associated with slowing down the speed. The traffic cones, the reduced speed sign, they are all triangular in shape. Okay, and then you write on it maybe give way. Okay, in some cases you don't. The roundabout, you have the circular intersection. Okay, so you make it blue and white in a circular way, and you have the arrow symbols as well. Okay, for the lane marking, a continuous line means you cannot go to the other lane, and the white color and so on and so forth. So these are different examples of redundancy in the same with the same design of the device. Okay. There are 3 types of devices, as I already mentioned: traffic markings, traffic signs, and signals. Okay, we are going to discuss each one of them one by one. We have traffic markings. Traffic markings can be of 3 types. You may have longitudinal, you may have transverse, and you have something which we call as object markers and delineators. Okay, so we have longitudinal marking, transverse marking, and object markers and delineators. Longitudinal means along the road. such as which marking is along the road? Lane marking, shoulder marking, sometimes medians, and so on and so forth. Okay. Then we have transverse marking, which are across the road. I already mentioned one of them number of times. Which one? Arrows? Stop line. Okay. Stop line. Arrows can be yes. Anything which is not along the road comes under this category. Okay. Arrows can be there. Parking, the marking you have for parking areas and so on. These things. Then we have object markers and delineators. These types of things. Okay. So they are at a specific location and they are telling you an obstruction which is coming on in your way. So I'm going, now there's a traffic island here. The traffic island separates the straight and left. Okay. So these object markers and delineators tell me then I have to select my lane. They are forcing me to go into a particular lane. I cannot just continue straight. You will see them near the signals, big signals. Okay. You will see them near ramps as well. Okay. So before the ramp starts, you will have these object markers and delineators. So drivers know where they have to actually be in a lane. You are forcing the driver to be in a specific lane. Okay. So this one, the first one is called as yeah. So these ones are the delineators and this one is the object marker. Okay. That one is the object marker and this one is the delineator. Okay. So object marker is on the object itself. So you see it on the island itself. Okay. So if you reach that, you don't need to worry about where you should be. You will hear the crash and then you will wake up in the ambulance. Okay. But delineators are before that. So before you reach the object, you have these things. Okay. They are usually on the pavement or they are soft objects like this. So they serve as the warning and this one serves as the punishment. Got it? You didn't listen to the warning. Now you will go and enjoy yourself. Okay. Then we have traffic signs. Traffic signs can be again three types: regulatory, guide, and warning. Okay. Regulatory comes from regulation, traffic laws. Signs which are about traffic laws, such as speed limit, no parking, one way, stop. Okay. These are regulatory. Then we have warning. Signal 200 meters, slow down, don't use phone. Okay, keep on using it, no problem. Something like this. Huh? Slope. Do they have them here? I was thinking, where did I see it? Yes, in some cases, yes. Okay, but you get the idea, right? So warning signs are related to safety. They are related to safety of the driver. Okay, they are not conveying any regulations. And then we have guidance signs. Okay, so guidance signs are telling you about directions, facilities, and anything of use along the road. Okay, so where is this city, where is gas station, where is school, and so on. Okay, and the last one is traffic signals. Okay, traffic signals are of 9 types. Okay, traffic signals are of 9 types. The one which you see at the intersection, they are called as traffic control signals. Okay, the one which we know about already, the one which is used at the intersection is called traffic control signals. And they are, the main purpose is to control the movement of cars, to control the movement of vehicles. Traffic control signals are mainly at the intersections to control the movement of vehicles. Got it? Then we have pedestrian signals. So their main purpose is what? To allow pedestrians to cross the road, not the intersection. Not the intersection. Okay. At intersection, yes, they can cross, but there is already a signal there, right? So I don't need a pedestrian signal there. You're getting the point. So when I say pedestrian signal, this is specifically for pedestrians. If I remove this signal from there, nothing will happen to vehicle movement. Only pedestrians cannot cross. Got it? Clear? Okay. So in the first case, pedestrians will cross when the signal is red for the cars. Okay, fine. Okay, but we need an exclusive pedestrian signal on the road itself. Clear? Then we have signals for emergency vehicles. Okay, so these are signals maybe at the entrance of the hospitals. Okay, for example, or the for fire stations and so on. Okay, in some cases you can use the traffic control signals with a sensor for the emergency vehicle. Okay, so if an ambulance is coming, what happens here? You see the ambulance is coming, or you hear the siren ambulance is coming, and what happens at the intersection? It should turn green for them, but it doesn't happen, right? Like you give them the way, okay, or a policeman will come and he will change the signal, okay. But the one with the sensor will sense the vehicle is coming, and the signal itself will change. Okay, so we are talking about those signals, but they can be exclusive signals which are at the entry and exit spots. Okay, for these vehicles. Then we have traffic signals for one lane, two way. So there's a lane. Okay, and I want to control the movement for this lane. So I put two signals at both ends. Okay, so there's a signal on this end of the street and there's a signal on the other end of the street. Okay, when I want to allow the movement from this side, I make this signal green, and the signal from the other direction is red. So nobody can enter, but people can go in this direction. When I want to reverse the movement, I'll make this one red, that one green. Getting my point? So this is a set of two signals. Okay, at a time only one of them is green. Okay, so people can only enter that lane or that street from one side only. Okay, but you are not fixing it for the whole day. Obviously you have to inform the drivers about the timing and so on. You don't want the drivers to queue up at the end of the street because the signal is red, because it will turn green maybe after hours. Okay, so it needs driver information as well. Yes. If you find it, I will give it to you 100 BD. Okay, it's not this. Come on. Why are you guys asking me? Like, I'm Garib, right? I came from somewhere else. You should know it if it is there. Okay. Then we have traffic signals for freeway entrance. We call them ramp meter. Ramp meter. Okay. Very important for weather. It's not there. We don't have it. Okay. But it's very, very important. Okay. Because usually in the morning what happens? You have a highway. You try to take the highway, right? Because there are no signals. You feel that I can just keep on going. But what happens when there's an entrance? It's jam-packed, right? Why? The highway itself cannot become jam-packed because there are no signals. There's nothing to stop you. Okay? What is causing the jam? People who are trying to enter. So the concept of this signal is we let them enter in intervals. Okay? Maybe 10 vehicles every 20 seconds. So these 10 vehicles can easily come in without stopping the flow here. Okay, so this is the idea of the signal. Then we have traffic control signals for movable bridges. Okay, you know London Bridge, right? Okay, so it's over a river. On the bridge you can go. The bridge itself is a road. Okay, but the bridge is low. Okay, so when when the ship goes, there are some ships, bigger ships. When they go, they need the bridge to open. Okay, this is called as movable bridge. So it opens. So obviously when this opens, you need to close the traffic, right? Okay, unless you are in Fast and Furious, then you can just keep on going. Huh?
We ask you what.
You tell him to shut up. Okay, you get the idea? Okay, so you will close as signals. Okay, at both ends they turn red when you are about to close the bridge. Close the bridge means close it for the vehicle. It will open for the ships to go. Okay, we have some. I told you about London Bridge. They have some in Amsterdam and so on. Okay. Then we have lane use control signals. Each lane has a signal. That signal tells the lane movement. So in the morning, I know more people are going straight, less people are turning left. So in the morning, I will have 3 lanes for straight and 1 for left. So on these 3 lanes, I will see the signal straight. 1 lane will have the signal left turning. Okay. In evening, I know more people are turning left. So I'll make 2 lanes for left turning and 2 for straight, or 3 or 1, whatever you want. Clear? Okay. So this is for lane control. Okay. And so seen this, some of them in Europe and so on. Then we have flashing beacons. They are basically warning. Okay, for warning. So we have some of them. There is one near Galleria Mall when you are taking the turn towards Chubri and so on. So it's just for flashing. It keeps on flashing, and it's just for warning of the drivers. Okay, it can be for construction work as well and so on. You can use it as a warning sign. And then we have in roadway lights, which are this. Okay, we use them in locations or in countries where visibility can be very low in some cases. Okay, so you have lots of fog, or you have heavy rain lots of times, you have snow falling and so on and so forth. So the marking on the road may not be visible at many times. So you can use lights as an extra measure. Okay. So some more points about traffic signals. Some more because these are things you can actually design completely. Out of all these things, traffic signals are the ones which you can design completely. Design meaning you can control the traffic movement completely with traffic signals. Okay, so some more points about that. First of all, traffic signals must not conflict with any other traffic device. They must not conflict with any other traffic device. So you cannot use a stop sign or a give way sign or a roundabout. We are using that, but we shouldn't. Something like this with a signal. Okay, shouldn't be used, but it may cause more confusion for the driver. Okay, a sign which means stop, but the signal is saying green. Should I stop or should I go? Okay, so traffic signals must not be used with any other sign, any other device. Traffic signals must not be switched off completely after installation unless you remove them. A traffic signal, driver is expecting to follow them. If you switch it off, so a light is not working well. So I think, okay, let me switch off the signal. The drivers will go as they want and I will repair it. No, in that period where you will repair the light, you have to use the signal with flashing. The driver knows that the signal is not working. Okay, so trying to give the message to the driver, the signal is not working. Okay, so it should not come as a surprise to the driver. So next time the signal is working, he will be surprised as well. Okay, so we are trying to reduce that element. Traffic signals have their own benefits. They can carry higher movement. The stop sign, roundabout, give way sign. Okay, traffic signals can carry the highest amount of movement out of all these situations. Okay, they reduce obviously conflicts. Okay, they reduce the chance of crashes because they give you exact time when you are supposed to enter, and the other movements are blocked. The other devices, they work on your judgment. They give you chance to judge yourself, like the stop sign where you never stop, right? But the traffic signal, it gives you exact time. So the chances of accidents are far less in this case. Okay, some less severe accidents may still happen. For example, rear end. Okay, the driver in front of you stopped at the yellow signal. Okay, for whatever reason. Okay, and you are not expecting it. Okay, so these type of accidents are usually of lower intensity, lower severity. Okay, but the dangerous crashes are usually controlled. With traffic signals, you can allow signals to be programmed together on a road when they are close to each other. Okay, so you move from one intersection, you reach the next one, I can program them together. So when the driver reaches the next one, I can make it green. When I reaches the other one, I can make it green. Again, something which is very important about that. Okay, wherever we have closed signals, you will see them, they are often in the evening, they are blocked. One signal is blocked because of the other one. Okay, so coordination, signal coordination is very important in our situation as well. But it can only happen in one direction. So if I'm coordinating this direction may be suffering, or the streets may be suffering. This direction will have more time, right? And so on. Yeah. Usually at the roundabouts, at the stop sign, because I am dealing with the driver judgment. Okay, so I am standing at the roundabout, waiting for my turn, and the cars or the traffic from the other direction is very high. The number of cars, the traffic coming from the other direction is very high. Okay, so what is the chance that I will get my turn in the next 20-30 seconds? 0, because it's completely packed. Okay, nobody will give me chance to enter, right? Clear? Okay, but with signals, I have my definite chance. So I don't have to take any risk to enter. I'm waiting for 2 minutes. I know the traffic will keep on coming, so I'll take my chance, right? Okay, and Bahrain people are nice enough. If you take your chance, they'll let you go, right? Most of the cases. But with signals, you make it sure that these people, without taking any risk, can enter the high traffic zone as well. Okay, so these are some of the additional benefits. Signal indications, we know about them: red, green, yellow. Yellow, which is before the red, is more important. Yellow, which is before the red, is more important. Why? Because the driver is on the move. So this is where there are more chances of a crash happening. Okay. Yellow after the green, yellow after the red, less important because the driver is stopped. And when you make this yellow, the other directions are already closed. So somebody goes in yellow, no problem. Okay. So yellow, the one which is after the green. Then we have flashing. Okay, all of them are called balls because of the circular light. Okay, so they are called balls because of the circular shape of the lights. We have flashing ball, which is used when the signal is not operational completely. So all lights are not working, or you don't want to use them for one reason or the other. Okay, so you will have it flashing. Okay, so flashing gives an indication to the driver that there is a signal, but right now it's not working completely. Okay, so flashing is used in that case. Now remember, I'm talking about flashing red or yellow, not flashing green. Flashing green is part of the operation of the signal. We are using it here, right? Okay, they are also using it in other countries like UAE and so on. Okay, so flashing green is part of regular operation. Okay, signal is not working properly, we never use flashing green. It doesn't mean anything, right? Okay, so we use flashing red or flashing yellow. And some signals are with the arrow sign to show the driver that there is a separate signal for left turning, separate signal for straight, separate signal for right turning, and so on and so forth. Sight distance criteria for signal depends upon 85th percentile speed. To know the 85th percentile speed, which study do we do? Spot speed study, right? So if you know the 85th percentile, you can find out how much sight distance should be given for the signals. Okay, signal components, we already know about cycle, we discussed it. What is a cycle? Sorry? Red to red, yes. Okay, from start of one red to the start of the next red, time taken for a cycle is called cycle length. Okay, within a cycle we have different intervals, right? Red, yellow, green. So every interval has a fixed set of lights. Interval is the time during which the lights remain constant. Okay, so we have intervals, and intervals make up a cycle. Now in the intervals, so when you are having red, when there is red time for you, one of the other direction is having what? Green. After green it will become yellow, okay? And after yellow, there's a time which is called as all red. All red, okay? What is all red? When all signals are red, okay? This is to give time for Formula 1 drivers. Signal is yellow. Let me show my skills. He's like on the 10th number. He will go, okay. So for those drivers, okay, who are already entered into the intersection, we give them a couple of minutes more, okay. All these three intervals, green, yellow, all red, their combination is called phase, okay. Green, yellow and all red, their combination is called one phase. So every direction has a phase, and every phase has three intervals, green, yellow, all red, got it? And if you combine all the phases, you get a cycle, okay? You get a cycle, okay? So you have three intervals for a phase, then you combine all the phases, you get one cycle, clear? Okay. Okay, last couple of points. How we can operate the signal. Most of the signals we have are pre-timed. They are pre-timed signals. So timings are fixed in advance according to traffic patterns. So in the morning, this one more green. In the evening, this one more green. Okay? But it's not taking the data directly from the traffic. Okay? You took the data, you programmed the signal, now it's working according to your program. Okay? This is called pre-timed signal. Then we have semi-actuated and fully actuated. Actuated means sensors are attached with the signal. Actuated means sensors are attached with the signal. Okay? So semi-actuated means that sensors are only on one of the roads, not both roads. We have two roads, right? At least intersecting. So on one of the roads we have the sensors. Okay? How does it work, or why we have sensors on one signal, one road? That road is supposed to have less traffic. Okay? So we don't want to make the signal on the main road green when there is no traffic on the minor road. Okay? So we put the sensor on the minor road. The major one remains green until you get a car from here. When you get a car from here, it will become red for the main direction for a few seconds, in which one car can go. If the next car comes, this red will continue. Okay? And there is a maximum time for it. So if the cars keep on coming, after that maximum time, it will become green for the main road. Okay? And then after some time, it will become red again. Okay? So there are some limits there. Okay? But the main idea is, we do not want to keep the signal on the main road red for no reason. Only make it red if there is a car on the minor road. Okay? Then we have fully actuated, which means all directions have their own sensors. So the timing is given to each direction according to their sensor data. Okay? And this is done on main intersections, where you have two main highways crossing each other. Clear? So in this case, timing for any direction can change. The total time can also change. The total cycle length can also change. So now it is 1 minute. After next hour, it can be 90 seconds as well. Okay, and the order can also change. Okay, usually if you go to the signal, you know your turn will come after which direction, right? Okay, you know after this one, this will be my turn, and this remains same. But a fully actuated signal, that can change. Okay, so it depends upon the queue. The queue is longer here, that direction will receive more priority. So it will become next green. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, the last thing which is related to signal operation, which is signal coordination, I already mentioned it. Signal coordination is, you have signals close to each other on a main road. Close to each other on a main road. And you coordinate them. Plan their timing together. You plan their timing together. So vehicles find green one after the other. Okay, this is called as signal coordination. It happens on main highways. It happens when the signals are close to each other. Okay, we don't do it for minor roads. We don't do it when the signals are far from each other because we cannot control it then. Okay, usually it is within a kilometer. Within a kilometer. Okay, the timing which we control is called as offset. What is an offset? The difference between one green and the next green. This is called as an offset. The difference between one green and the next green. So I cross this signal. The next one is still red because I did not reach it there. I did not reach there. Okay, I will take 5 seconds to reach there. So the next one will become green after 5 seconds. So this 5 seconds is called as what? Offset. Clear? So again, something very important I already mentioned. Some of the highways on where we can apply it, or maybe they are already doing it. I have a sense, but when I talk to the people from the ministry or from the consultancy, they said, oh no, we are not doing it. So it's just happening by chance. Okay, but the important point here is, if you want to do signal coordination, the cycle lengths of all the connected signals must be same. All the connected signals should have the same cycle length for this to work, and you cannot change it. So you cannot make it fully actuated. This cannot be fully actuated. Okay, they must be connected. They must be running on the same cycle length, and as I mentioned, it can only happen effectively in one direction. So if you are planning that vehicles in this direction keep on going without stopping, and this direction also, it cannot happen. Okay, you will lose some time, some seconds in both directions if you try to do that. It will still be more effective than without coordination, but you will lose if you try to coordinate both directions together. You will lose some seconds in both directions. It will not be fully coordinated, but for one direction you can make it. Okay, but I told you it happens where you have minor roads crossing. So a major road and all roads crossing are minor roads. Okay, so I can stop traffic there to prioritize this one. Okay, so this one can have more priority. Clear? Any questions? Okay, so keep in mind this is slide